3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our Sunday question and answer, where we take your comments and answer them here. If you guys would like to be featured in this video, leave your comments underneath this video, and that makes it easier for me to find when I am pulling these comments. And yeah, I guess we can get right into it. Was there
But how do they, let's talk logistics there.
Yes.
If they're watching our regular shows during the week,
Yes.
they want to leave a comment.
Yeah.
How do they go back to this video? Like, why would they do that?
Oh, that's fair. I
We're
mean,
discouraging them.
No, you can leave questions in all the videos, but
leave your comments
ideally
everywhere.
if you have, a lot of people, I found that anytime I ask to leave comments in this video, it's much easier for me to find them because they end up in this video.
Oh, so it's all about making life easier for you.
I guess if you want to make life difficult, leave a comment for me in the video we did from 2023.
Yeah, and then complain why we're not talking about it.
That's right. Okay, so let's get right into the questions here. So the first question here comes from Jamie Chung 88. And Jamie, I gotta apologize, Jamie. Your comment. So sometimes for some reason, YouTube like flags certain comments, and like it could be like, "This is a great video!" ! And for some reason, it's flagged. So I don't know if it's like
that's
the
because
user or
YouTube thinks you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, maybe. But sometimes it's like it flags comments with like defamatory content or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes it ends up just flagging like regular comments too. And I've seen Jamie Chung commented quite a bit on a couple other videos asking the same question. So here we will answer it for you, Jamie. Jamie says, any chance you guys will tell us what you think new and upcoming neighborhoods are?
The reason I'm not going to specifically say this neighborhood, that neighborhood, or the other neighborhood right now is because I could be telling you, oh, you know what? This neighborhood here is really cool. We're seeing more action in this neighborhood. There's lots of new shops. It's very trendy. And you could say, oh, no. I want it to be more quiet, more traditional. I don't want a lot of commotion.
Mm-hmm.
So that neighborhood kind of doesn't work for you, does it?
Yeah.
You may say, I may talk about another neighborhood where there's a lot of new construction, new building, new infill. And you could say, oh, no, I don't want anything like that. I want an area where, just a peaceful, quiet, a whole bunch of bungalows. I don't want to live next door to one of these monstrosities that, they tore down the little bungalow and built a 5,000 square foot home there. It's all personal. I could say, oh, this area, lots of new restaurants. And you could say, oh, no, or you might want to walk to restaurants. It's really hard to pick. So when I'm speaking with a buyer and we're talking about their needs, their wants, that's when we start to fine tune which areas make sense for them. I could tell you personally what I like. I grew up in Cabbagetown and I grew up in Coxwell and Danforth. I'm not too partial about Cabbagetown, although prices have flown through the roof. And like, just for me personally, I love the beaches area. South Beaches, not Upper Beaches. This is just me personally. There's other people that are saying, no way. That's fine. This is why I'm not able to pick specific spots for somebody. I also like East York. I like Etobicoke. I prefer South Etobicoke to North Etobicoke. But again, your needs might be different, or whichever buyer I'm speaking with, their needs may be different, and it's personal taste. And so we talk about that and we pick the area that suits the needs of our clients. So what's good for one may not be so good for the other one. That's why that question is very difficult to answer.
Yeah. And so if you don't notice the theme, he likes South because he likes being by the water.
I like being by the water.
If
I could picture the boat one day, I'd like to buy.
Whoever strikes a big on the lottery one day.
Hey, Lotto Mac,
you can catch him.
60 million.
You can catch him on. You can catch him on a boat smoking a cigar.
And then we'll be shooting
fishing.
This video on the boat.
Yes,
even in the winter.
That would be cool. I don't know if that's
we'll be
possible.
docked on the shore,
Just sitting in a rental boat.
in a warehouse, in a heated warehouse on our boat. We'll have the hose around to splash in water.
Okay, so next comment here comes from Tomal 6410. And Tomal says, "Hi, Santos and Sessa."
Santos and Sessa. Wow.
Thank you.
Butcher my name even more.
I guess and Sessa is me. So
I guess
share
so.
with just
Hey,
one
Sessa's.
name. Yeah. So thank you for doing videos regularly.
You're welcome.
Especially you, Santo. You were/are sick and you keep going. In a buyer's market, how much can I underbid without being insulting? Is 10% usually too much? Should I keep it to 5% and just wait for them to drop the price first? P.S. Thank you for letting us have fun with your names and that you let it become a thing between you and us.
I'm trying to avoid having fun when it comes to my name. You're the one who's keeping it going, not me. What percentage under list price should you offer? There is no set amount. You do what feels right for you as the buyer. It'd be good if you could base it on something. Like if you are undercutting below market, you should know. And this way, depending on the reaction of the seller, you'll know if you're getting a good deal, you're paying market price, or you're paying a premium. Like you need to know what makes sense currently under the current conditions for that house in that neighborhood naturally. So you need to know the numbers and then you decide what you want to offer. There is no set amount. And I wouldn't worry if you're offending a seller or not. Believe me, they're already offended seeing what their list price is compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
So some sellers are also listed way too high and others are listed low. So to buy that house, you're actually going to have to offer more than the list price. Unless you do the math and figure out what makes sense, you don't know. So there's no standard.
Yeah.
You do you.
But the worst they can say is no, right?
That's the worst they can say is no. And you're no worse off than before you put the offer in.
Fair. So next comment here comes from HHYTTO. And they say, this was with regards to last week when we were talking about if you can get the status certificate before
putting in the offer.
And they say, you can check the MLS for another unit in that building that may have attached the unit status certificate to their listing. That's not the actual status certificate for the unit, but contains a lot of other information that you'd find in your targeted unit anyways and can give an idea. Now, I saw this comment and I mean, I look through.
Sounds like a good idea.
It does. It does sound like a great idea. I look through countless listings, especially condos. And I don't think I've ever seen, I can't think of one that I've seen that's actually included the status certificate attached.
It's rare. So if it is, it's probably a mistake.
Like if the owner of the unit pays for that certificate.
Yeah,
right?
The owner or the agent. Somebody's paid for that
someone's paid for that certificate. And I just don't think that most agents like to publicize that as like a document that you can just download from the listing. Now, I will say there are agents that will pre-order the status certificate and have it ready. And so all you'd have to do is email them and then they will send it to you right away.
Yep.
So there's that option.
There's a part of the listing where agents leave messages for each other. Only agents can see this. And one of those messages may be status certificate on hand.
Yeah.
And if you see that and you're interested, you have an interested party, a buyer that you call the agent and say, listen, you got the status certificate? And he says, yep, send it to me.
Yeah.
And you'll get it. But you got to make that step to call.
Yeah.
But it's only for interested people, not for, you wanting it because
you're looking at another
unit.
So yeah, I've never, I can't think of a time I've come across a unit that had the status certificate attached.
I've
on the
seen
listing.
it. Very rare.
Yeah. Okay.
Very rare.
So-
I haven't seen it once this year.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, but I haven't even seen it once this year.
Okay. So next comment here comes from Renzing Lexog. And Renzing says, Santo,
Yes, sir.
just made my first mortgage payment on my brand new 1-bed, 1-bath, 500 square foot condo in Mississauga, located next to Square One. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Purchased it for $515,000, but now need a $600,000 sale just to break even this year. Condo is rented out and I am paying an additional $500 a month to cover this place. I don't have a problem paying the extra money every month, but do you feel like I could ever break even on this condo? 2030, 2035?
I think if you set your time frame for as long as you're setting it for, you definitely have a good shot at that. I think any condo purchase needs to be a 5 or a 10-year plan. 5 would be very optimistic, but 5 or a 10-year plan, which just sounds like that's what you've got in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind when you calculate your break even, also include the amount of cash that you're negative every single month. You got to throw that into your calculations down the road and decide if it makes sense to just cut your losses now, or you're in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say $500 a month is also not that much.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, considering what we're seeing now, and especially on a new building, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Next comment here comes from Eshkincott1, and Eshkincott says, could you please clarify why it's going to be much harder to move back to Toronto from some remote areas as Innisfil?
It's math. Values out there are very different than values in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
It's just math. Everything is different when it comes to value.
Why don't you give a little bit of an example so they can understand?
Well, a lot of people will move out because they get more home for their money. But then you've got situations where there's market instability. Those values out of town are less than what they are here. So you're going to have a hard time selling there and buying equivalent here. You've got to change something. Either you get more money somewhere to spend money in the city, or you lower what you're buying. So you've got a big detached with lots of land out of town. You're going to come in buy a much smaller home, much smaller home with very little land here. We've got the one client that we're talking to now that a few years back, like maybe 5-6 years ago, purchased their dream home in Keswick and now are thinking of move it back into the city because their kids are going to be going to university, so they want to be closer. They actually can't.
Yeah.
For what they can buy in the city, they're like, we got to find another solution. This isn't going to work.
And then trying to sell out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they can sell, just nowhere near at the price that makes sense for them to buy something decent down here.
Yeah. Next comment here comes from Gertrude12345. And Gertrude says, hi there.
Hello.
Where are you guys driving so far every Sunday? Thanks for the show. Good job.
Well, should we let him in on a little secret that it's not always Sunday?
I don't know if I think that's an open secret because I mentioned that almost every video. So every Friday, usually,
Fridays and Saturdays.
What we used to try and do is we used to try and time it so that whenever we're going to like an appointment or something, we would do it along the way. And yeah, we just try and plan it basically
for efficiency.
Wherever if we have an appointment somewhere and we're together, okay, we're going to take 30 minutes to record this, but we just drive. We spend 80% of our days on the road.
It's better than talking about the news.
Yeah. So I don't know. It might be worse for me because I got to listen to you more. But yeah, we just drive around. We just drive around different appointments. Right now, we're going to a condo that we listed by the water, so we'll be there for a little bit. But yeah, we just wherever we got to go, we film this on the road on the way there. So okay, next comment here comes from Trapsonk. Trapsonk? And Trapsonk says, "Where can I learn about mortgages? I'm fairly smart, but I was watching a video about them recently and realized how little feel I had for them, which probably factored into not getting a pre-approval for so long. Also, someone in the business said that I shouldn't go to 2 different institutions for a pre-approval because it would ruin my credit, which smells like BS. Okay, actually getting 2 different groups to pre-approve a mortgage would be bad, but it sounded like I shouldn't shop around." So I feel like I hear this a lot where people say like, oh yeah, especially if you go to a bank to ask them, they say, oh, don't go to another bank because then they'll end up pulling your credit again.
Who's saying that? The bank saying that?
Yeah, and it's gonna put your credit into financial ruin. So yeah, the way it works is basically you get your credit pulled by the institution that's pulling your credit, and then if you were to go apply at other places, they'd be pulling your credit as well. And I think in a lot of cases, like it may have an effect on your credit score. I don't think it's a massive effect on your credit score, but also having all those different people pull your credit is not necessarily so ideal. So generally speaking, if you went to a mortgage broker, so someone who, like Anthony Venuto is the mortgage broker that you've seen here many times on our channel. You saw him a couple weeks ago on our Sunday video. He is a friend of ours who does a great job for all our clients, or for any of our clients that need mortgage help, I should say. And he works with all the banks. So he works with your Scotiabank, your TD, your RBC, BMO, all those banks. And so when you send an application or you send in all your documents to a mortgage broker like Anthony, who runs his own independent practice, he basically pulls your credit once and then sends the application to all the different banks, right? And so he ends up, it's one pull, but it goes to all the banks. And then they all come back to him with, I guess, whatever rates or whatever. I'm not entirely sure how his side of the job is, but that's how it's done.
He also knows what's going on with the different banks, and depending on your set of financial circumstances, which lenders, it may not be a bank, a traditional bank, but which lenders are more favorable to your financial situation. Usually the mortgage broker is the more efficient way to go, because it's a one-stop shop and you have access to multiple lenders versus you going to each and every lender on your own.
Yeah.
And you don't even know them all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, use a mortgage broker. That's your best bet. I would call Anthony if I was you.
Yeah, I was going to say, Anthony, if you want to learn about mortgages, he has his YouTube channel where he posts a ton of videos about mortgages, current affairs, stuff like that. He has some videos that we've posted with him in the past. If you go to the playlist, you'll see a bunch of the Finance Fridays that we used to have.
He's great just to ask a question.
And I was going to say, if you wanted to just give him a call, you can also, he's very easy to speak to, and he'll clear up.
You still going on with Anthony? Do you love this guy or what? Call Anthony. That's
a good guy.
Like, geez.
Just want to make people feel comfortable if they want to call him.
I get it. I get it. You like the guy.
So do
okay.
I. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. I hope he's watching. I hope you can see it.
Anthony, buddy.
Next comment here comes from I'm So Smart. And they say, Santo, thanks for all the work you put into these videos.
You're welcome.
Do you think the price decline, bracket average sold price, can be attributed to marginal buyers in trouble? So those people who bought in at the lower end are more than likely to sell than those buyers at the higher end. Am I misreading the stats? Do you think the price decline can be attributed to marginal buyers in trouble?
So he's talking about sellers in trouble.
I think
But
people
he's
that
referring to them as buyers when they originally bought.
correct.
Okay.
I believe that's kind of
I'm thinking about my answer here. I think it's a combination of all that, because we see, would you consider somebody buying a home at $2 million or $3 million a marginal buyer? Probably not. But we see a bunch of those in trouble. We see people that have bought 6, 7, 800,000 in trouble. We see them all. So it's really tough for me to answer that question. What do you think?
I think what we're seeing is now, and this is something that we see almost every year, I would say, now is kind of the time where if you really had to sell throughout the year, and let's say you were trying to hold out for a higher number, now is when you're going to see those properties sell for what they can get. Right?
Yeah. Sellers that have more staying power, they may choose to wait out and not sell at the lower price.
Mm-hmm.
And sellers that have less staying power, meaning they need to be sold, you'll see them dropping prices and selling now.
Yeah. Okay. So next comment here comes from 1138 Prometheus. And 1138 Prometheus says, I love the way you conveniently forgot to mention the fact that their home values are going down. Funny how real estate people always forget to mention that one.
What?
1138 Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Is this
come on
the
for real?
first video you've ever watched?
And he didn't watch the stats.
I know.
It's in the charts, buddy. I put the chart.
It's so frustrating. As someone that goes through all
Prometheus
the comments,
he's gonna make me say something that I'm gonna regret.
It's so frustrating because all we get in the comments is that either we're too negative. You're talking about how, you always mention the fact that values are going down and you're too negative. Why would I call you? Blah, 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 blah. And then we got people like this that are saying, oh, you never mentioned that prices go down.
Prometheus, are you the kind of guy that if Daniel and I, if you saw us walking on water, you would say, look at these two boneheads, they can't swim?
Yeah.
Like, is that...
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the other person who says that we're too negative, and we always talk
introduce them.
Yeah, we always talk about values going down.
Yeah, you guys should have a coffee together. You'd have lots to talk about.
I'm going to put them both together. And our last comment.
Oh, thank you.
Our last comment.
Thanks for not ending on this one.
Our last comment here. Our nice comment comes from XFVBL, and they say, love how this guy's all about facts without being over dramatic.
You should be calling Prometheus on our behalf and talk to him.
Oh, God.
There was a bit of drama there. It's because of Prometheus' comment.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Thank you, XFVEL.
Yes. Thank you very much
for your comment.
We appreciate that. Thank you for noticing.
We appreciate that, that you're not one of those people telling us that our titles are too overdramatic. But yes, if you watch the videos, try and keep it as neutral as possible. And yeah,
we don't try to keep our titles neutral, though.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
No, definitely not. But again, that's
part of being honest.
That's the viewer's fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's the viewer's fault.
We blame you guys for that.
But again, thank you guys all for watching. That's all for today. If you have comments, if you have questions that you want answered, leave them in the comment section below, and we will see you guys soon.
When they watch this, because this airs on Sunday, there could be a ton of snow on the ground.
Oh, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
If you like snow, that'll be fun.
Snow, yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Won't be good for your boat.
No. The boat I don't own.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye, folks.